Elcktros versus Enosis Esports. Here we have all the bands now, not just the global bands, as I already mentioned. Bull double band here together with BB and Shade. And then we have a total of 5 different other bands here. So not the total of 10 brawlers banned out. 10% of the brawler map pool could completely be out of the way already. Mortis double ban. Right hand side has first pick here. Uber, what's it gonna be?
Kenji's open. I think that's the only good gap close option that you actually have left here with Ali, Mortis, and obviously, Bull and BB taken away. Lily's also not available. I don't see why he can't go in for Ziggy here. Obviously amazing on this map, can really control a large area. When he pops that gadget and then starts firing up those normal shots, you have to dance very quickly not to be hit by those zaps.
Really like the Shade ban. I can kind of see where they're leading with this stuff for the global side. It's a great brawler to have in Layer Cake. Definitely still some options, some throws. See, this is what I'm saying about North America. Kit, I think, would be a great brawler to have in these global bans, coming in as the first pick for Team Elcktros, and it's really quite a scary one. The cardboard box invisibility keeps your opposition guessing a lot of the time, combined with some really scary brawlers.
Kit is so interesting, barely ever picked up by many other regions, but in NA, he is really, really strong right now. Immediately picked up here by Team Elcktros against Ziggy. Is going to have a good matchup, but Ziggy's still the strongest thrower at the moment, at least on Bounty. What do they want to pair with that? Kit's a bit of range. Bell, still one of the best sharpshooters in the game, can get some bouncing shots in. Really like that so far from the left-hand side. Right side still has a couple of options open here to maybe pick up the blue star too. Yeah, some range would also be good here with the Meeple. Usually to pick up the blue star, you want a Mortis, an Ellie, or a Kaze. Okay. All of these are out of the way, but as you already mentioned, Kenji or maybe also Mina could have been a good option here for the right side.
Yeah, Mina obviously can get in there. In days gone by, it used to be Carl. Carl definitely not the go-to right now, but he's the Meeple pick up for Enosis. Just want to make sure they got a deterministic option if they are able to push their opponents up across the map. If Elcktros end up getting caught in a corner and they have to deal with that Meeple super, there's really nowhere to run in that case. You still want to think about the potential to challenge this blue star, though. So this last pick for Enosis will be quite telling.
I kind of feel like on the side of Team Elcktros, they're cooking a tank here of some sort. I mean, it could be a BB, but it's globally banned. I mean, there's still Daryl, which is an option in this region. They want to take away the Bell as an option, really. Kenji's going to come in as their pick. I feel like there's something that's quite scary here brewing. Meeple, definitely a good brawler to have here, but I think better in the hands of Team Elcktros. I mean, they've actually got a 0% win rate in scrims on the side of Enosis with their brawler.
Ooh,
not great.
That is very unfortunate. We now have a pretty balanced comp though on the right-hand side. I do like the draft so far. Some aggression, pick up the blue star potentially, and then range. And Ziggy can also hold off those opponents' brawlers, except Kit maybe. Let's see on the left-hand side now, what will they pair with Kit? I personally like something with a bit more damage on their side, and Otis is just that. They need something to deal with Kenji, because, he would clap that bell.
This does feel like a bit more of a defensive draft, or at least reactive draft here from Elcktros, right? I do think Otis is an answer to something, and it's kind of hard to see where the Kit's supposed to fit into all of this, right? It can be a little bit dangerous to try and develop that super. I think Otis is a great pick. Last month in NA, had an 80% win rate, I think out of 6 games. So was one of those sort of sleeper brawlers that was performing really, really well. So I still expect to see Otis be quite powerful here as we jump on into Layer Cake Arc. It's going to be Enosis Esports, relative unknowns, taking on last month's champions, Team Elcktros.
I feel like they wanted the Kenji because they've just opted away from it, and Otis is a great brawler to have for it. Mimmin can jump away out of this box if needed. No need to at the moment. Just able to try and get a few swipes close to the hypercharge there. There's Snowy taking a assertive role in that mid. Getting some taps as well. Got the super already, the mark ready to go on the Kenji.
Yeah, Snowy's hitting these shots. This is a problem for Enosis. There's so much space here on the left-hand side of the map. You want to throw it in a pinch, you've got it. The Kid's going to rain that damage down on Kirito, and that is almost too much damage to withstand. Yeah, the shots coming in from Snowy, and it's a hypercharge super built up for the Bell already.
Good taps yet again. Got to be cautious of this Ziggy. There's the hypercharge mark, straight onto the perfect person for it. Now Kenji, oh, the timing of that was absolutely dirty, my man.
That was pretty nice. Also using that Bell super to knock the shield off of the Kenji. It doesn't do much damage on its own, but it still triggers it, so all of a sudden that high damage reduction, 70%, isn't available to the Kenji in the aftermath. That is the best way to counter that star power.
Well, still just 1 star in it. The blue star is still Team Elcktros. Maybe cautious of this Kenji, for sure. Kit will be ready to jump at a moment's notice, but this mark has got to land here. It was a miss, unfortunately. There's still a trade in the left-hand side, though. 6 stars now, so the 3 for Team Elcktros. They're in a good spot going into the final 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's a real question of what the plan is supposed to be for Enosis from this point on. They're trying to send that Kenji forward, but he can't fight the Kit. Meme now has that super available, so he can just go from one to the other here and easily develop yet another super while jumping on in. That is classy stuff. GN now trying to pressure down, but he's the cardboard box, and Meme is going to cut through them like a hot knife through butter. Absolutely brutal stuff. 13-3. 13 and counting, should I say, as that Mantis of Meeple doesn't do much more than give Elcktros plenty of room to celebrate this round win.
Coming into the match, I was saying about how I wanted to see more Kit global bans in North America. I think that is exactly a statement as to why. Absolutely insane, and you know, I've got to feel like Enosis now going to do a complete 180 here and rethink through this strategy because it's just not working.
Yeah, look, that Kit Hypercharger is very powerful because the Kit can farm the next super while their initial target is still stunned. That's very dangerous. In a case like that, you can also pull off some insane acrobatics with that level of mobility offered to you. And in that sense, with that Hypercharge, Kit can play very much as a solo brawler on that left-hand side, while Snowy just hits shot after shot, lays those nest eggs down, and shuts the door on Enosis in the later round.
Again, Ziggy pushing up and using the gadget to try to assert some authority, but this is where the heals of the Kit can really come in clutch. Snowy there trying to, again, get that mark ready for the Kenji, as that is the dangerous roll on the side of Enosis that can really make the plays. Still though, Dwayne looking for, again, that mute. Not giving the upper hand on this Kenji. With the blue star, they prefer to have it in their pocket, so Pinch got quite on point though, and the dash away. Meanwhile though, Ziggy falls.
And you're supposed to do what with his Mantis of Meeple? Not a whole lot, because Matt does not have super available. So Memon just chills inside his little cone of silence and then is ready to go back to playing the game. Doan is actually lane swapped over to the left-hand side. And Elcktros had 2 brawlers that can shut down one of those individuals. The Otis is very good against the Kenji, and you can see just how little interest Enosis has in putting Kirito up against Doan at the moment.
It's Hypercharge. Might be chosen for the Ziggy as well, but I think Snowy still keeping it on the back foot for this Kenji. Chooses to go for it now as well, whilst the Kit able to get the stun. It's still looking just very much in Team Elcktros' favour. Enosis not really finding the balance between the aggression that they need and the support behind it.
There is no game plan here. GN finally finds a super. This should take care of Snowy, and that's going to even up the game somewhat. It's going to be a trade between Memon and Kirito as well. And up to 10 stars go Enosis. That was a pretty big Ziggy super.
This is quite a turning point realistically here, because Team Elcktros have got time, but they do need a lot of stars. The Kenji would be a good start, and as quickly as that, the heal's still there though.
Oh, no.
They're potentially still not. They can still do it, honestly, but now the Mantis of Meeple going down, really limited. I mean, Snowy knows it as well, not even really moving the sport.
Wait a minute. I said not enough earlier, but yeah, I didn't see the pick off there on the bell with that super. That was quite nice stuff from Enosis. Finally, the Kenji's starting to get going a little bit there. They found their footing a little bit in the mid-round, and obviously they do have Ziggy, so they can put damage down on the brawler caught inside that Mantis of Meeple. Eventually, they were able to pressure Memon more adequately. They didn't have to deal with the Kid Hypercharge, and generally just a very solid round from Enosis. Let's see if they can keep it going.
I mean, they would love to start things off with a set in the pocket. It would be able to increase the pressure against the team, which again, coming into today, definitely a couple of doubts as to whether they're able to do it. But again, underdogs can be overestimated sometimes. Let's see how they will fare. If they can get this next game, it'll be massive for them. Memon's still lurking on this right-hand side. Gets a couple of swipes into Kenji as well. The helping hand of Snowy, taking care of that right-hand side. The blue star, now it's Team Elcktros.
Nicely handled by Elcktros there. There was help. Good collapse in from the mid-side. Snowy recognized an opportunity to help the Kit take out the Kenji. Those yarn balls do a lot of damage, but they are very short range. Enosis able to avoid most of them. That's a nest egg eaten up there. Go by the Kenji. Memon can't quite get close enough to get a free swipe and has to be careful here. Might be chased down. Doan actually falls here to the Ziggy damage. This puts Enosis now in the lead. Memon trying to surge up the left-hand side, but again has found a difficult lane matchup against this Kenji, as Enosis is trying to make sure Kirito doesn't have to fight Doan at all.
That was really nice from the Ziggy. Doan just couldn't do a thing, and now
Good diagonal.
Punish. Yeah, great pinch on that left-hand side, but the Mantis of Meeple comes down and puts a stop to it. Now everyone's going to be healing up in the meanwhile as well, and Ziggy has got Super 2. The mark on the Meeple. The Snowy trying to get these bounce shots now quite pivotal, as they're looking for the Kit to come in to get some low HP swipes, but it's not really there. Comes back to the heels. Ziggy in the perfect time to keep this at bay.
Yeah, forces the disengage with the super. Team Elcktros have to respect that now, and they're still behind by 1 star. Mantis and Meeple, they were really hoping that would catch Doin, because there was a super committed to it as well. We get a pin out of Enosis, and that slight mistake might have cost them this set. GN and Map don't really have anywhere to go here. That super's now timed out. They do have a Kenji super available, but a nest egg gets triggered there by Kirito on the left-hand side of the map, and he's looking like he might be struggling. Hypercharge popped by Meme, and he didn't even have to use the super on the Kenji. It's curtains for Enosis in his first set.
Really close stuff, though. I mean, that genuinely could have gone either way towards the end, and I liked how Team Elcktros were not getting, they weren't outstaying their welcome. They could have got some more bell shots on the right-hand side and really punished the action, but they just had that 1-star lead. That, for them, was enough. They knew those nest eggs could do a lot of the work on that retreat as well for them, which came in quite pivotal to play. And I think that at the end of the day, that could have really been a set against them. So keeping it together was crucial.
With Bell in your composition, you actually don't mind playing from behind in these bounty games because you need to push up the map and your opponents are going to give you the map as they back off. That's when you can put the nest eggs. Presumably, you gain the lead after pushing into enemy territory, you leave the nest eggs behind you, and then you fall back and then you're able to punish them. That's exactly what we saw in those last couple of moments, and that's why the Kenji couldn't chase any of those kills.
Ark, as you said it, this could have gone either way, and that speaks volumes. We're looking at a completely new roster. We haven't really seen Kirito, Gottnoob, or Moth in many monthly finals. Gottnoob has played in one before last year. The other two are completely new to this, and they made it super close against the winner of the February monthly finals. Nobody's untouchable this year.
Yeah, Gottnoob played in June last year. They faced Tribe Gaming as New Heights Gaming at the time, and they just got swept in that quarterfinal. So that still is experience that he has over his teammates, but that is the extent of that experience, outside of the BSC, of course, Matcharinos, but it's kind of hard to kind of dive too deeply into that experience, but I feel like, they did really well against Team Elcktros in that first set.
Yeah, really compelling first set. I think the draft was quite powerful. They recognized that the Kenji's the only real assassin / tank that they have the option to pick up. They managed to get that. They've got the best thrower as well. A very robust composition, but I feel like the pinches in mid, especially from Snowy, were challenging. They never got 1v1s for that Kenji. There was always a Bell or an Otis getting involved.
And usually I'm a bit scared of whenever one team has a thrower, the other team doesn't really have anything to address it. But whenever the kit was on top of Snowy, they did have a thrower in their own rank. So that was a pretty solid comp from Team Elcktros. The Meeple on the other side did not have as much value as expected, honestly. I still feel like it wasn't a bad pick necessarily. Double Swoosh is going to be a second map here for this series. For a Yoshi map, you want to have some area control. Jester has been a brawler that we named time and time again, immediately banned out here alongside some other area control brawlers here with Crow and Otis. First pick is on the other side here. They themselves spent Terra, Nita, and Ellie, so potentially they want to pick some tanks here with the 2 tank counters banned out.
Potentially here, Janet's a big pick for Team Elcktros. I think for Enosis, they quite like the bow here. I'm still a big fan of it, I'll be honest. I don't mind it at all. M's going to be their first. I mean, these are the kind of brawlers that they can wait on, to be fair. So picking up a good 10 counter early on is going to be quite helpful here. Stanley can have pretty good matches on this particular map too, but I'm also quite scared for the Mortis not being banned here. That's an aggressive brawler, which if they can combine with a good counter, could be quite well for them.
Spikes open, that's an option here. It lets you reveal those bushes pretty effectively with, Pinwheel. Gene fulfills a similar role. I like that you mentioned Bo. Obviously, that super totem is pretty crucial right now, but he can also be unrevealed shooting from bushes if you take that particular star power. Here's the Spike. It feels like it's a pretty decent option for your safe side of the map, right? You play in your left side bushes and you're inherently advantaged because of that. You hit very hard still, of course, and I kind of like Life Plant. It gives you, some more options. It does damage now. It knocks back. It has some of these extra effects appended to it. We've often seen it used in conjunction with like a Mortis comp. Like you throw the Life Plant where the Mortis is going to be so he can tank a shot for him and heal him up. So I have liked that combo so far, and that's available here to Elcktros if they want to go there.
On a Bushian map like this one, it's all about vision, and that certainly is fulfilled by the Spike. Good call there from Uber, Mortis, and Spike is going to be the comp here for Elcktros. They still miss a gem carrier at the moment, so maybe Janet is going to be picked up later, as Ark said as well. They usually also really like Mo on a map like this one, so I'm surprised that we haven't seen him so far yet. Ems on the right-hand side also offers some vision, but not too much range. Let's see if they're going to pick in some more range. It's quite the opposite. We have a Dark comp, and yesterday, or really, anytime we see a dog pop up, we talk a lot about the cheese comps that are possible kit, and dog would be one of those. Let's see if it's actually going to be this one. With a lot of options still open that would be coming into a regular draft at this point. Sandy, for example, is also still wide open.
It's uncomfortable though because Odyssey is banned by Elcktros. Kind of broad that they wouldn't mind folding into this situation to try and shut down the Doug. I hope they don't feel like they need to, like play kit or anything like that. Janet gets picked up here, and I think they realise it's one of the best sort of safe gem carrier options that currently are at the disposal of either team in this draft. And we still need to see a gem carrier from Elcktros. Jean, they'd have a lot of vision. They'd have some, catch potential. Still pretty challenging to ever get the Janet if she has super available. You might feel like you need something with some decent range here still, though. Amber's kind of crazy here, but that is an option if you're concerned about the Doug running at you. And here is the Mo instead.
Well, I do like where Enosis are coming from in the sense that they have to experiment here. I was chatting to Ready Set prior to the match and following the back of the interview, and he said that they are experimenting with some really interesting drafts at the moment that people are not necessarily ready for. We've seen the Doug versus the Janet kind of combo with the hypercharge before, but I feel like these are the strategies that can sometimes give you a set here or there. It's a bit cheesy, but sometimes you do need that little bit of a struggle comp. These are things that you tend to see more on ladder than you tend to see in comp. So
Elcktros picks 3 of their 6 most banned brawlers on a map like this one. This looks very dangerous for Enosis. Let's see if they can make it close once more.
Okay, so it is going to be Enosis the Spike here trying to set the life plan up to give Memen a way to get into the right side bushes. It's instantly taken down, but the idea is there. This comp is really good at getting vision. You'll notice the projectiles of both Spike and Mo will sort of fan out and explode, allowing them to see much more of the map than otherwise. Here comes the Doug though, looking pretty scary, but Memen's going to get involved and try and deny him. It's a super used by the Doug and map control gained as a result. All of Elcktros have to respect this, but now Mascot doesn't really have much to protect him. Memen's going to go in, and there's no friend zone here to save the M's from the Morts.
And doing is a disgusting Mo, by the way, as well, so keep an eye on him on that left-hand side.
Good dive.
Going in there, but Janet takes the skies, keeps those gems alive, and the HP low will be able to heal off the back of landing. Stuck with the hypercharge, though. Wait for that Janet to have super, because that's when things can get really scary for Snowy.
And here comes Kirito. Wow, flattening, doing nothing he can do about that one. Kia Super will be at the ready for Kirito. Should it be required, and there is the magic hot dog above the head. And Memen going to sacrifice himself there to the sausage gods as Doin goes in. It's a trade. The gems, though, are dropped. Snowy, though, has to respect this Doug, and even with the life plan, he's not able to get that sausage banded out of his face.
Oh dear, from in there, the gems as well might be stolen out the pockets. Snowy going to pop the hypercharge as well. Surely gets the kill there as well, but no, Doug coming straight back. This is not good and bad for Team Elcktros, who can't really go in with the hypercharge. Memen going to make his best attempt of it. Trying to get a cycle, can he get some gems at the back? No, falls down. That's a very important game and a massive steal for Enosis.
Oh, that's gross. That is actually filthy. I need a cold shower immediately. Doug, very, very powerful, especially if he's doing enough damage to cycle into those supers. He is nigh unkillable. And yeah, Kirito's feeling himself. Why wouldn't you be? Get to play Doug in BSC, get to win a round, get to do it in style. It's 3 ticks and 3 checkboxes for me.
There is some Broad Esports Pro playlists, like, don't we really, to be able to have shared. Oh no, where he's jamming.
Sabrina Carpenter, almost certain.
Let's see where, though, Team Elcktros can learn from these mistakes. And tough, really tough for Memen, honestly, especially with the helping hand of that Ems. And the Doug being the prime candidate of the takedowns. Doin has got super on the left-hand side. Potentially go in here as well. Keep the Doug low before we can start to... Yeah, it's going to come back. These hot dogs have been timed.
Kill the Doug! Please kill the Doug! Kill the Doug! Thank you. Oh my god. That is so ridiculously difficult to get rid of him. Cut super cycled there by the Doug, but finally map control taken by Team Elcktros. Memen going to make use to some degree of the life bar, but Doug is in hot pursuit.
Yeah, it's really quite disgusting. Moment though, Gem's much better in favour of Elcktros, but they've got to be cautious here. Big hypercharge there from Snowy. Janet can still evade this and will do so. Doing low. Not going to use probably the drill just yet as well, as Janet does divert away. Ooh, a tough matchup as well, but Memen actually comes out on top there. Hypercharge available for this. Doug still going to stay alive. Can these gems stay in the pocket? Doug going to come straight back yet again. So Doing is going to go on the aggressive here.
Yeah, okay, great pressure from the side laners here from Team Elcktros. This is giving Snowy enough space to get up to 8 gems, but still, the threat of the Dark running up on them is real. Here's Hypercharge Super from God Noob, so that he's going to guarantee the kill, forcing Doin to pick up these gems, and he's all alone again. Enosis have cracked the code. Listen, you're going to pick the Dark or you're going to ban it, otherwise you're in for a tough time. Absolutely brutal. If you want to see how the sausage is made, this is some insight into how to craft one of the most disgusting comps in Brawl Stars right now. The Dark is not able to get away though, so he's able to pick up some of those gems, down to 2 and caught inside that caustic charisma. And I think they'll just simply go around that Spike Super, regain the gems, and Enosis here will try and hold a decent front line with this Stug, but look to end the round on this countdown.
Yeah, they got to get to the Janet prior to that countdown, unfortunately. Janet should be landing safe and sound for the most part, and does. So a massive set, a huge moment for Enosis now to tie up this series.
I mean, what do you want me to say? We've seen it. We've seen what the Doug is able to provide. Is that Matt himself? Is that a photo of himself?
It does look like
a younger photo.
Yeah, he's flexing himself.
I respect it. Okay. It's like he printed it out though. Okay, look, I respect it. Great draft from Enosis. Really nice. I do think the Ems is interesting. I think you're trying to bully your safe side of the map there. There's 2 brawlers on the side of Elcktros that can dive, and dive very effectively here. But you have the Janet, who's pretty safe, self-sufficient, can also, you know, have that window of invulnerability when you're carrying on the gem. So just really well thought out game plan.
You know, I heard a saying before, you got to make your younger self proud and yourself when you're 90 years old. And he did the one thing already. His 9-year-old self surely is proud of even taking a set off the hands of Team Elcktros. Keep in mind here, they only lost a single set in their whole entire run in February. And that's already happened here in the second set they played today. Great showing here from Kirito, 7 kills on him. That dog had so much pressure. The Janet, unkillable really, and she just always got out of the way whenever they had the gem. So really, just a delicious comp from them.
Yeah, for me, the dog was the dirtiest of the candidates, really. It really was. I mean, the amount of hot dogs, the amount of revives, I mean, it was just honestly so hard for them to do anything about it. And this is what I was saying coming into the match, and this, again, from the interviews as well, from the guys themselves, saying that they've been really experimental with their drafts. And I think that's exactly how you've got to come into this one. They know how dangerous Team Elcktros are. They know what they're capable of doing and what they achieved last month. So they've got to really get inside their minds and just take them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, and you notice here, I think at some point along the design pipeline, Doug Super was intended to be used on teammates, right? With the hypercharge, it sort of can be, and that gross little kid combo here. You're doing enough damage to basically cycle that super constantly, always have that revive capability, and be able to continue to run your opponents down. It is very scary to try and deal with that. Doug is so good at taking map control by demanding that you deal with him or run away, and it's almost always the latter.
Heading over to pinhole punts now, and usually those newer teams do fairly well in Brawl Ball because this is the favorite mode of many, the mode that is played on ladder very, very often. I'm not sure if that's quite true, by the way, but according to my stats, Team Elcktros has scrimped 400 sets in the last few weeks, and Enosis about 14.
Okay.
That is a crazy feat that they're still able to take a set off the hands of Team Elcktros here. We're on pinhole punt. Again, all about mix control. So Spike and Crow immediately fall to the ban phase here. Jester, Shelly, Otis, all of these brawlers have a widespread shot. All of these offer a lot of area control. The next best option, a really good option here with the Buffy, is going to be Ems here on the right-hand side.
Leon and Max here open, and that's quite a dangerous prospect for me. Max being played so tremendously well by Team Elcktros last month, and it is going to come through the first pick as well. Looking potentially even maybe here for Mo. We know what Doing can do with that particular brawler. Really dangerous stuff. Kenji as well could be a big playmaker consideration for sure. As well, maybe even Glowy. I mean, it's not a bad map for it. Yeah.
Something I was kind of thinking, pinhole punt is reasonable. You need to get behind walls to break the tether, so that grassy area is no safety to you. And if you are looking to try and round this out with a bulkier brawler like Meg, then getting a healer in the mix here might be good. Meg feels like she's pretty low on the priority list of sort of those tankier brawlers, but it's above Frank, even though Frank was a nightmare when those buffies were first introduced, really supercharging that tanky brawler. Because of what the global bans look like and how some of these bans here are shaken out, there aren't a ton of great options for tank primos technically on the table if you kind of want to go that way. We've sort of seen him appear every now and then in these Brawl Ball sets.
And Mech gets counted out by pretty much all of the brawlers that are banned right now. Spike with a lot of DPS, Crow makes it just she can't ever heal up and she wants to stay in that mecha for as long as possible. Buster is gonna come in here, a little bit of tankiness also on the right hand side now. A Glowy would look super good in that right hand side roster now, offers a bit of range, has that potential to heal the Buster so he can get up close and comfy with his opponents. On the left hand side, well, it's always still in the mix, of course. An Ember on any bushy map. The Kenji that you mentioned before could be a shout here once more. Okay. Right-hand side really needs some range right now.
Yeah, Meeple's still out there as well. Gale going to come in, going to be quite a good matchup into that Meg, so I don't mind it for that reason. Squeak still on the table potentially here. I wouldn't mind seeing the Mo now, realistically, from Team Elcktros. Be definitely within their kind of skill set, so he can come through. I mean, it's really one of those brawlers which has not been seen much because more often than not, it's banned.
The Gale's fine here. Obviously, Meg is less long range than she used to be, but still that she can operate outside of the most effective radius of blustery blow. Right, you can knock the Meg around, but still, I think she was a brawler that was so effective because she's a great outlet for healing, essentially. That's not going to be the go-to here for Team Elcktros, though. They're really the map control. Meg's arc of fire is very wide, right? Her projectiles, they cover a lot of space, and the same can be said of Ziggy here. So it's going to be tough to find safe places to stand in this Buster composition. I think Snowy's going to have to be pretty careful of that montage. Buster's one of the most effective answers to this Meg shutdown and main source of damage.
Oh, Memen lurking, going to get the pinch. Lovely stuff on the right-hand side. God Noob, though, comes in with a big blustery blow. Memen just lurking on the right, invisible to these shots from the M's. Now comes in, goes straight down, though. Again, God Noob really on top of this game so far.
Yeah, look, I think Memen got a little bit too close to the sun there. You are still a little squishy as Leon. You want to try and find flank angles if you can. So, Enosis have the map control here. Lollipop drop empowered by the Bucky, though, gives you that extra little bit of speed, which is important. Snowy, lucky save there. He needs to clear the ball, so he needs to take a bunch of free damage from Kirito. But one thing Montage can't block is the super swing of Meg, and Snowy has the damage to down the opposing tank.
Well handled there by Snowy. With a hypercharge as well now, which can really add a lot of range to that swipe. Trying to continue to aggress now. The Ziggy starting to play a vital role. Gadget in hand, but no montage there coming through. Let's see if Memen can make something of this. The Buster is incredibly low past the ball. The shot is there. Potential path through as well. Oh, the Twister is there. It's still not over though. The pass through the Twister and the shot. They're going to secure it regardless.
Make sure to lock it in now. There's two hyperchargers on the side of Team Elcktros. They are working with some serious gas right now. In goes Memen. Remember, a minimum 75% damage regardless of Leon's proximity to his target. So that primary fire under hypercharge conditions is extremely powerful. Kirito, though, nice little double down. Snowy is removed out of the mech and then dealt with. But Memen is lurking and looking dangerous here. What's God Noob going to do? Try and pressure the Ziggy down? That's fine, but the issue is the Leon, and Memen sneaks past to score the second for Elcktros.
Yeah, that was a much more convincing game, for sure, by Team Elcktros. I think it's the drafts are pretty balanced for the most part. I didn't necessarily mind it, but there is still a notable edge for me. Again, the Leon pick, which is just highly valued in EMEA, coming through now and just getting the job done. This Meg as well, though, is working surprisingly well.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it's obviously very effective on this map because, swiping through those indestructible boxes guarantees you finishing potential at all times. And the Ziggy was pretty important, I think, to clear that space to make the goal essentially open. And Kirito has to essentially try and dodge these Ziggy shots forever. I mean, this is just a hard watch. I mean, they have just stomped over Enosis Esports off the rip there. Elcktros winning all of their duels.
The problem is Ziggy is just so suppressive. The electric shuffle gadget just allows you to just pepper the map with electricity and just forcing the hand of your opposition now. Going out, everyone really disbanded. And Enosis not really looking too together, it must be said. M to super as well, which should divert Snowy's attention away from this ball. Nice from God Noob on the right-hand side on this Gale pick, trying to just alleviate some space. Still, Enosis not really getting too heavily towards enemy lines yet.
You can see that I don't know, the Gale doesn't look that great against the mech. God Noob's not even trying to do anything about Snowy, who now under hypercharge is very, very tanky, very powerful. I really think that it's a missed opportunity in the draft there, picking up that Gale. The Meg is more than happy to play at longer range there and just to get damage down. And the Gale is using super just to make space, but there's no stun that's coming off the back of their blustery blows. So for me, that one doesn't quite cut the mustard in this context.
think for me it could have worked, but I just feel like Elcktros they're so good in Brawl Ball. I mean, they just really are the top team in the region, literally, when it comes to the stats and the scrims. But I mean, pretty poor stats. I don't necessarily mind the comp that we saw on the other side of the field, but I mean, Leon and Ziggy, really two brutes that get the job done.
And I was honestly surprised to see the Ziggy. Usually we see a Willow, if any, thrower on Brawl Ball. On the other side, though, we have nothing that can really be dangerous to him. We have no assassin, no tank, nothing that would actually threaten doing on that Ziggy pick. He was able to just cycle ults. We see it here, the hypercharges left and right, and with that they completely clear out the mid, and Pinhole Punt is all about that mid control.
Like, where are the catches with this Buster? Is he on utility belt and not slow-mo replay? Because I don't see any catches off that gadget, right? I think that's something you want to try and hit the Leon with, especially if he gets a little bit too close to try and find that damage. But at no point am I really seeing this Buster get in like a strong position. The montages were few and far between. It's supposed to be your main tool for mitigating the damage that Meg can put out, and Leon. They're both projectile-based brawlers whose shots will be reflected, but I did not see the Buster really fulfill its role at all.
Unfortunate, 2-1 now for Team Elcktros, and this is kind of what we expected. Elcktros in the lead, but we do have that underdog roster take a set off them, so it's definitely possible for Enosis to take a second one. We're out in the open now. We're on knockout. We have Angelo banned out. He's super good on that left-hand side since he can walk over the water. Eve would be the other brawler that does that so well, that gets picked up quite often. Leon is going to be picked up here on the right side with the lollipop drop. Offers some more speed to his teammates. They're hidden as well. Same kind of strategy would also be with the bow. He can give a supercharge to his teammates. The area is a lot wider now thanks to the buffy he recently received. So he's one of the most picked brawlers on knockout on this map, at least so far.
Rob not being banned here is honestly like just wild to me. I mean, it's the first brawler pickup worthy one to have. Just break your own wall, have that escape mechanism through the mid. No reason not to. Gonna go for the Gene though, which is again that good healing prospects, good ability to turn the game in your advantage. But you've got to have some swift takedowns to have behind it in terms of support. I don't mind Pearl here. It's probably the best map. I wasn't a big fan of how much we saw her yesterday in South America, but I did say that this is the one map that I think she can do well in, and it wouldn't be the worst brawler to have in combination with Gene.
Yeah, Gus here is also pretty reasonable, commonly picked option. Any of those other sharpshooters as well. Pierce, note that both Pierce and Angelo are both banned here. They're very serious about
Enjoy your treat.
Byron, though, fills that role quite adequately and also has finishing potential via that super. A lot of healing so far being picked up for Team Elcktros, of course. As Magic Pass from Gene can really add up.
I would like that bow now with the Gene, honestly. You get your super quite quickly, and a Gene super is basically a guaranteed kill if you hit it. But let's see if they're gonna just try and go with something aggressive. They have two healers now, basically, on the left-hand side already. We have Leon on the right-hand side. You have the aggression down. Maybe a Brock comes in now to open up the map a little bit. Makes it able so you can walk into mid quite quickly. You don't have to go over the water on the left-hand side. Chloe's gonna come in. He's just always a super oppressive brawler. A brawler you always need to keep in mind. He was the most banned brawler across the global bans and regular bans so far this month.
But picking into the Byron, I mean, Malaise can deplete a lot of that healing ability potentially. I mean, that's something that's on my mind at least. And let's see, I mean, Eve is still available. That's going to be a brawler which will make it a quite tough thing for the Byron to have to land shots into the hatchlings. It can force them back. So there's definitely some options. Kit they're going to come in for Enosis. A good brawler, one that I think can be kind of hard sometimes in this map to make work, especially into the Gene. The cardboard box gets spotted sometimes more often.
You have to kit super the Byron. If the Byron has super available, he just dumps it on whoever on his team is getting supered by that kit. And you're cooked at that point. Buster also gives you a guaranteed super generation if you want to play in the late round. Right? If you find your opponents aren't looking to pressure you too much, you just stand with your teammates. You have the ability to sort of block projectiles off that Leon. Buster doesn't have a ton of great applications in terms of his super, but what I do look forward to seeing is the gadget. Slow-mo replay. If you catch a kid out with that, they're gonna get blown up instantly. You could say the same for Leon. Leon will need to get somewhat close to do his damage. We saw Enosis try and pick a Buster against the Leon in the last set. It didn't look good at all, but we're looking at last month's champions. I feel like Elcktros have what it takes.
Going into this match, Sonny did ask and I thought my thoughts on whether this goes to the fifth and final set. And I said, I hope so, but I don't think so. Now I'm looking ahead and Enosis on one set away from doing just that. Already though, big aggression and just a little bit out of place. And that regard is now a 3 versus 2, and Enosis already on the back foot.
This is so much healing. I mean, you've got multiple brawlers here that want to stand close to each other. Buster gains super that way, and obviously, Gene heals, doing just that. Also, Memin will be more than happy to have 3 players to dump that super on. So this comp is really compact. It's a Death Ball-y style setup. I like the fear from Kirito, but surely Doin can finish the job here. And his hypercharge montage is ready to rip.
Yeah, very, very solid opening stance. Doing on that Buster. Probably getting close to a hypercharge as well. Hard to see with the crossover, but I think he has got it in that Gene magic hand of Snowy. Got to land it. You can't really afford to miss it in knockout, so will he go for, ideally I'd go for the glowy, maybe just pull it in even now despite the kit heals, but trying to evade themselves. That's not a good shot. Yeah, that's Memin out staying as well from there.
And he caught the lollipop drop with the magic hand. Basically, everything that's gone wrong, could go wrong, has gone wrong here. Doin can't be healed up. Snowy's not going to get close enough there. And Elcktros kind of threw this round out the window. I'm not going to lie. You've got to respect the damage of those yarn balls. The range is short, but yeah, we saw how quickly Elcktros got on the wrong side of those. Your Byron won't hold up long under that level of damage.
Only going to do what he can. He does actually get a super off the back of it, so that's actually not the worst of outcomes. It could have definitely been a lot worse. But as time goes on, Kit is getting closer to hypercharge as well, so he does need to try to get the round swiftly over. Now coming in, 1 round away from Elcktros being on match point here. Enosis being able to be getting ever closer to taking this to the 5th and final set. So far, everyone is hunkering down behind this Buster. Wait for this magic hand pull. It's a good one, but the helping hand there of the freeze frame. Honestly, that's what you need there.
Yeah, I mean, again, you have 2 pulls virtually. You can make sure you can slow-mo replay the magic-handed target, but even then, that was a trade. So such is the damage of the Leon's composition. It is pretty scary. What's he doing? Expose himself to a little bit of free damage here, as most of the map control has been lost, but we are going to see our little virtual map guide. You can make use of that jump pad, and here we go. Matt going to back away here, but looking pretty scary under hypercharge conditions now. Nice montage use, but Snowy still getting slurped down by Kirito. Could not break line of sight. And Enosis, I can't believe I'm saying this, they're going to take the first round here, a knockout.
Nicely done. Really nicely done. Interesting to see.
Yeah, vibing. Yep. Vibing, baby.
You've earned it. But there's still a set up for grabs here, far from over. And despite the mistakes, I felt for the most part, Elcktros did look okay under the scrutiny. I'm never a fan of this jump pad in this map. Every time I see players go for it, I'm like, oh, I just sense that you're going to land and immediately be dead. But yeah, just an interesting interaction. Obviously, if you get the tether prior to that Buster coverage, then it's able to deplete the HP regardless.
Okay. Yeah, you cannot block that glowy damage. Glowy getting through here seems pretty ridiculous. Leon's damage is definitely nothing to sniff at in this day and age. So what's the play here for Elcktros? Looking for an early catch maybe off a gadget? Godnoob not able to get any free damage. Ooh, has to run away. I think they're going to fully commit for this. Ooh, nice slow-mo replay, but the healing for the kit might get them there. Snowy almost is taken down by those yarn balls, and eventually Math is able to chase down with some extra damage. I am liking this comp from Enosis, I won't lie. Going without super doesn't feel like he can do much to protect the rest of his team.
This glowy is a problem. It really is. Gadget there, out from Memin. Trying to scout the bushes, but this is the lollipop drop, and look at the speed that it allows everyone to get into the mix of hypercharge, but stunned up by the kit here as well. Doing not going to be able to do much now. What could a Byron do in a 2 versus 1?
Yeah, this is tough. Memin is going to go by the wayside here. No escape. First round of this second game of our 4th set going to Enosis.
Now we need this Gene to pull through. Snowy has got to bring back more than a lollipop drop. Kit Invis in the mid, found by the Byron now and jumping on, but you've got to connect it, and that's what I'm saying. You've got to connect those moments. It's been really tough now to get out of this, but somehow actually, and nice heals. Are still all standing.
Memin could be in trouble, yes. Kit's able to finish the job. It's a 2-on-2 now, though. Snowy does not have super. Going hypercharge at the ready. No gadget used there, still respecting Godnoob's ability to jump away by the kit super, so he doesn't. Now, that's all good with split. We do not want to be in this position at all, but the damage is there from Doin. Gene versus Glowy. Top 10 anime battles, anybody?
Realistically, this should be a Glowy win for me, but let's see with the hypercharge now with Snowy, it could be possible maybe to deplete some of the HP that would otherwise be lost. Let's see, though. Gas coming in. And I think for Snowy, he's just got to go for it at this point. They need this round. If they do lose it, then it's going to be the set regardless. So you just have to go in, try to count the shots and go at a time when you can just ensure the best possible outcome. Getting behind the barrel here is quite good as well. To complete that tether. Oh, he got it. Went the gas as well. He gets a brilliant takedown. That's not an easy 1v1 to actually hit.
No, he perfectly understood the assignment. You have to constantly break that tether and break line of sight. You do 2,200 damage per shot on Gene without hypercharge. You need sometimes more than a clip to do the job. He needed a bit of help from the gas, and he got it.
Really great stuff. That might be enough here for Elcktros to really thrive off the back of it. But again, another missed magic hand. The counter for them is getting quite high.
Yeah, tough to hit the kit, though, in fairness. You can jump away in response, but Snowy's going to have to generate yet another one of those the old-fashioned way, whereas Doyen, of course, I'll hang out with your friends and you'll develop super for free. That super, though, should at least convert some map control for them, where they'd be at risk of getting, Byron supered or grouped up to take a lot of damage from this team. They're going to find their way back in the map and then just vaporize. Now, though, that montage, what a turnaround. A lot of damage being fed back to Enosis, and now Matt doesn't really have anywhere to go. He'll be revealed in time. And somehow, Team Elcktros looking cool, calm, and collected, staying alive.
Really nice. And again, it just takes that one little glimmer. In that 1v1 scenario where we saw the Jin come out on top, it just was able to lead on from that, and we saw a much more aggressive approach, getting, back into the spawn area. Really nice stuff for me. Enosis need this round. They really do. Takes the fifth is the best chance they could really still cause a massive upset. But against a match point, I still think the comp's good. Glowy is working.
It's been a great series of Brawl Stars so far. What an exciting conclusion. Elcktros here are still poised to end the series, but it looks like Enosis is getting a bit more aggressive behind that kit super. Plenty of those chests being thrown down. Doyen is very close to dead, and there's no escape there. It's either die by the yarn balls or the damage from the glowy. Great looks here for Enosis. Now they'll just try and finish the job. Snowy's already got the super, so they don't need to worry about feeding a little bit of damage.
Yeah, but I'm definitely worried now. Leon has got invisibility, but it was a great pinch. Honestly, that between the yarn balls and the buster, really, really good from Enosis. One round away now, and the comp definitely to do it. But this is where the magic hand has got to hit. And I feel like I'm the one that's jinxing it, but come on, Snowy. You've got to bring this one home and make it a close affair, because this could be a set going against you.
Magic Puffs, plenty of healing here for Team Elcktros. As long as they keep that Leon at arm's length, they will be safe for the time being. Gadget there. Coming out of Memen, no connection as far as we can see. They're not too sure where the glowy is most of the time. Now we'll see Snowy simplify these shots for information. Doesn't need to generate a super as we earlier discussed. Here comes Doyen coming forward now. Nice little slow-mo replay, 2-for-1 special. Godnoob trying to connect that leap, but actually pulled up short. So now 3 versus 2. Does Matt have the damage to get through here? These Magic Puffs are really doing some heavy lifting in the healing department. So Memen's able to finish Matt, and with Godnoob the only one left and with no support, this round is almost guaranteed to go the way of Elcktros.
Nice farming as well there. Memen earned his hypercharge. I think the Gene might not be far away from super as well. If Snowy can bring it home now. Again, this round is the series for Team Elcktros. But Enosis hanging on by a thread here, and you've got to hand it to him for that.
Absolutely. Playing some fantastic Brawl Stars, they are. Super here are available for both the kit and the glowy on the Enosis side. You've got to watch out for this hypercharged super from the Byron. It feels like this is the first time all set we might have seen this. Memen connects this onto more than one player. That should be enough to end the round. Here he comes. Memen comes forward. Godnoob going to be hit there, revealed by that poison, now being forced to use a super to jump onto a teammate. Doyen has his montage at the ready. Elcktros need to ration these supers effectively. They all need to get value.
Snowy's got hypercharge as well. Maybe just use the maneuverability to get close. But again, another missed magic hand. It's disastrous for Elcktros.
Okay, here comes Doyen coming forward. Slow-mo replay catches Godnoob, brings him down. Matt is crushed. And Kirito now stuck in a 1 versus 3. Nowhere to go.
There's
and finally, a magic hand connects. That will do the job. Team Elcktros finally put Enosis to the sword. But there's a sense that took much more effort than we were expecting.
Yeah, it really was far from a walkover, wasn't it? It was not the clean affair that I was expecting it to be. So now, looking ahead in that semi-finals, I've got some reservations that I might have to reconsider. But, I mean, really commendable performance from Enosis. I mean, you've got to hand it to them. I mean, as Sonny said, we saw as many sets dropped from Elcktros as they did the entirety of the February monthly finals. So, I mean, they don't look like they are as confident necessarily as they were last month.
They showed once more that they're super strong, but they're not invincible. And yes, almost a second set